Once upon a dreary time in the heart of a bustling metropolis, I found myself enrolled at the Metropolitan College of New York, New York. A place that promised the world a glittering path to knowledge and enlightenment. But alas, it was a facade, a mere shadow of its grandiose claims, and I, a dreamer from a land where literacy was the golden key, was about to unlock a Pandora's box of disillusionment. The college stood tall, a monolith among the city's skyline, yet within its walls echoed a cacophony of discontent. My journey began with the highest of hopes, a naive optimism that education was the stepping stone to a brighter future. But the symphony of learning was marred by a relentless, screeching banshee wail, the HVAC system, a mechanical beast that prowled the rooftops, spewing its unholy racket across the Battery Park City neighborhood. Day in and day out, the incessant noise pollution was a reminder of neglect, a blatant disregard for the sanctity of peace and quiet. It was as if the college itself was screaming in agony, its pain reverberating through the very bones of the building. The administration, ensconced in their ivory towers, seemed deaf to the plight of the students and neighbors alike. The HVAC's ceaseless din was a testament to their indifference, a monument to their ineptitude. The faculty, a motley crew of educators, were as varied as the stars in the night sky. Some shone brightly, imparting wisdom with the gentle grace of a poet, while others flickered and faded, their lack of empathy and rigidity casting long shadows over the curriculum. Dr. Ran, a figure of authority in the MBA Media Management program, was a gatekeeper of misery, her inflexible demeanor as cold and unyielding as the iron bars that caged the dreams of those she was meant to guide. I recall the time when, as a single mother with the weight of the world on my shoulders, I sought solace in the college's promise of accommodating the lives of working adults. Yet, when the tides of life threatened to overwhelm, the college's administration was unwavering, a sea of stone-faced bureaucrats who offered no lifeline, no extension of compassion. The program, which I had clung to like a life raft in the stormy seas of adulthood, became my albatross, a heavy chain around my neck, dragging me into the abyss of stress and despair. The campus, divided between Manhattan and the Bronx, was a tale of two citizens bathed in the glow of opportunity, the other languishing in the shadow of neglect. The Bronx campus, often overlooked, was the forgotten child, its resources meager, its treatment akin to an afterthought. The staff entrusted with the care of students were at times as invasive as a winter draft, making advances that left a chill in the heart and a sense of unease in the corridors. My education, which I had hoped would be the Midas touch to transform my life, felt worthless, a degree that might as well have been printed on gossamer for all the good it did. The online platform was a labyrinth of confusion, a digital minotaur that trapped students in its bewildering maze of technical issues and subpar instruction. The administration, a hydra of disorganization, rendered straightforward answers as elusive as a mirage in the desert. The security, ostensibly there to protect and serve, was but a paper tiger, its roar silent in the face of real danger. The student body, though small, was not the intimate community of scholars I had envisioned, but rather a collection of isolates, each adrift in their own sea of discontent. As the semesters rolled on, like the relentless march of time itself, the college's failures compounded, a cascade of disappointments that eroded the foundations of my hope. The admissions process, which had once seemed like the door to a boundless future, was now revealed to be a false promise, a bait and switch that left a bitter taste in my mouth. In the end, the Metropolitan College of New York, New York, was not the beacon of Enley.
GH tenement I had. In the shadow of the Metropolitan College of New York, a tapestry of businesses weaves together the fabric of the neighborhood. Yet, the pattern that emerges is one of discontent and disillusionment. As a travel analyst with an idealistic heart and a keen eye for detail, I find myself navigating through a maze of less than stellar experiences that seem to define this commercial landscape. Let's start with the shops at Columbus Circle, a mall that promises a luxurious experience but instead delivers a cold shoulder. Here, the warmth of hospitality is as rare as a quiet corner in the Big Apple. Patrons have felt the unwelcoming gaze of security, shooed away like pigeons from a park bench, even when the crime is as trivial as charging a phone or resting weary feet. The prices, much like the greetings, are steep. A tuna sandwich for 17 is less a snack and more a slap in the face to the budget-conscious traveller. Just a stone's throw away, the Oasis Day Spa beckons with the promise of relaxation, but alas, the tranquility is often interrupted by the discordant symphony of poor service. The art of massage seems lost here, with masseuses who scratch rather than soothe, and managers who would rather turn a blind eye than offer solace to the aggrieved. It's a place where the search for serenity leaves one feeling more violated than rejuvenated. The Musket Room, adorned with a Michelin star, should be a culinary gem, yet it falls short of its sparkling reputation. Diners speak of absurd cancellation fees, of reservations honoured in name only, and of dishes that are remembered for their disappointment rather than their delight. The restaurant's inflexibility and lack of empathy leave a bitter aftertaste, much like the overpriced and underwhelming meals served within its walls. Felix Roasting Co. may boast a picturesque interior, but the coffee, the very lifeblood of the establishment, is met with a lukewarm reception. The baristas seem as detached as the flavours in their brews, and the once celebrated foam might as well be a mirage. It's a place where the art of coffee is lost in translation, and the only thing more disappointing than the service is the beverage itself. For those seeking a night under the stars at the Skylark rooftop bar, beware, the view may be the only thing that lifts your spirits. The service here is as unpredictable as the New York weather, with some patrons left feeling unwelcome, their special occasions marred by the brusque attitudes of the staff. It's a place where the warmth of hospitality is as fleeting as a shooting star on a cloudy night. Orange Theory Fitness on 39th St. may be part of a larger chain, but this particular location operates with a disregard for customer satisfaction that is anything but fit. Here, the treadmills of trust run at a steep incline, as members encounter hidden fees and a customer service experience that feels more like a marathon of misery than a sprint of support. Lastly, the Canal Street Market, once a bustling hub of commerce, now stands silent, with its closure leaving a void in the neighbourhood. The absence of a restroom for the early crowd is a glaring oversight, and the presence of pets near food stalls raises hygiene concerns that even the most forgiving foodie would find hard to swallow. As I reflect on these establishments, my emotions ebb and flow like the tides of the Hudson River. I am sensitive to the imperfections, the missed opportunities for service excellence, and the broken promises that litter the streets like discarded theatre tickets. It is with a heavy heart and a hopeful gaze that I implore these businesses to rise to the occasion, to polish their tarnished reputations, and to embrace the spirit of New York hospitality that shines so brightly elsewhere in this vibrant city. To the travelers who tread these avenues, approach with caution and carry with you a shield of skepticism.
Seek out the gems that do exist, but be prepared for the possibility that the luster you seek may be dimmed by the harsh realities of commerce. Remember, in this neighborhood, the business landscape is as unpredictable as a Broadway performance, sometimes a comedy, other times a tragedy, but always.
I am looking into crimes near Metropolitan College of New York, New York, and I feel a heavy sigh because the stories are so sad. Businesses near Metropolitan College of New York, New York are like small shops that try to be welcoming, but often hide dishonest people. One Target store on East 117th Street was forced to lock most of its merchandise because more than 200 shoplifting incidents were reported in just 6 months. The thieves acted in groups, sometimes threatening staff. A tourist who entered to buy a souvenir probably walked out feeling shocked, maybe left the store without buying anything and decided to avoid that block. The victim likely reported the theft to the police and felt unsafe for the rest of the stay. The shoplifters were probably identified from security footage and many were arrested, but the store still closed, leaving visitors with fewer options for basic needs. Businesses near Metropolitan College of New York, New York are also like street vendors and electronics kiosks that sell fake devices. In the area close to the campus, a little electronics shop advertised brand new phones at very low prices. A tourist purchased a phone and later discovered it was a counterfeit that could not connect to the network. The buyer probably tried to contact the shop owner, received no reply, and had to spend the remaining travel budget on a new phone or go without. The